We are glad to welcome you to our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and relations. And click on the bell icon for instant notification whenever new videos are uploaded on this channel. Rest assured that we are going to have a very exciting and inspiring discussion. Let's dive into the lesson right away. Hello, dear students. Today I am going to reveal how WAEC actually marks your essay. These are the real secrets that many examiners will never tell you. If you understand these rules, you can easily score the maximum marks in the WAEC English essay. This is English Classes Online, and I am your host, Benjamin. Let's dive right in. Section 1. The 4 big areas WAEC uses to mark your essay. WAEC stands for West African Examination Council, the examination body that handles senior school certificate examinations in West Africa. WAEC scores your essay using 4 major criteria: content, organization, expression, and mechanical accuracy. Content carries 10 marks, organization 10 marks, expression 20 marks, and mechanical accuracy 10 marks, giving you a total of 50 marks for essay writing. This is why you need to pay critical attention to essay writing. Now let's break them down simply. Section 2, content, which, as I said, carries 10 marks. Content simply checks whether you understood the question and whether you wrote exactly what WAEC asked for. Have you done exactly what you have been asked to do, or did you write off topic? WAEC wants to see all the required points: clear development of ideas, no irrelevant information, a complete and focused answer. These are the things that WAEC wants to see. WAEC will frown at a situation where you are asked to do something and you leave it and do a different thing altogether. For example, if the question says, write a letter to your principal complaining about the poor condition of the school library, you must mention some critical points. Number 1, you must mention the problem. It is because of the problem you are complaining, so it is relevant to it. It's part of the content. You must also discuss examples of the poor condition. What makes the condition of the library poor? You need also to mention the effects of this problem on students. Moreover, you need to make a polite request for improvement, because you don't just complain. You need to request for improvement. So if you leave out any of these critical points, you lose marks under content. Section 3, organization, which, as I said earlier, carries 10 marks as well. Organization checks your structure, your paragraphing, and checks whether your ideas flow logically. So WAEC is looking for correct features for the essay type, because there are different types of essays. The features of a formal letter slightly differ from the features of an informal letter. The features of any of these forms of letters differ from an article. The features of an article will also differ from the features of an argumentative essay or a speech. Alright? So WAEC is looking for the correct features for the essay type. In addition to that, WAEC is looking for clear introduction and well-arranged paragraphs. You don't just keep writing. Your piece of writing has to have a definite structure: the introduction, the body, the conclusion. And your essay should have logical sequence and a strong conclusion. You need to use linking expressions such as firstly or to start with, however, in addition, furthermore, finally, in conclusion. These linking expressions make your essay coherent and the ideas flow from one paragraph to another so that there is interconnectivity. Talking about organization, for example, a formal letter must have the correct addresses, date, salutation, heading, body paragraphs, complementary clause, and signature. If any of these are wrong or missing, your organization score drops. This brings us to section 4, which is expression. Expression, by the way, carries 20 marks. Expression is all about how well you use language. WAEC checks for your ability to choose appropriate vocabulary, write clearly and maturely, use a variety of sentence structures. WAEC is also checking for your ability to maintain the right tone and communicate with clarity and confidence. You need to use the appropriate vocabulary and you need to express your ideas clearly. Most students perform poorly in English essay not because they don't have the right ideas, but because they lack the linguistic competence to express these ideas appropriately. They lack the ability to use the appropriate language, the correct language to express their ideas. For example, instead of writing "the library is bad," you should write, for example, "the poor condition of the library has made serious study almost impossible." So when you write this, then you can give specific examples of those things that constitute the bad condition of the library. This is what gives you a high mark in expression. Section 5, mechanical accuracy. This also carries 10 marks. Mechanical accuracy, or MA for short, is where most students lose marks. Under MA or mechanical accuracy, WAEC checks for spelling, punctuation, grammar, tense consistency, correct capital letters. Your spelling, words must be spelled correctly. If you make spelling mistakes, you lose marks. If you use the wrong punctuation or you omit punctuations where punctuation should be, you lose marks. If you use capital letters where small letters should be used, or you use small letters where capital letters should be used, you lose marks. Every mistake reduces your score. Some areas cost half a mark and serious ones may cost 1 full mark. So you can understand why most students you know, may not score anything at all under mechanical accuracy. And consider this example. The students have finished their assignment. This sentence contains three errors. Three errors in just one sentence. The errors are as follows. Have. That breaks the rule of concord. The student is a singular subject, while the verb have is a plural verb. So instead of the student have, it should be the student has. And another error is finish. Finish. The student has finished. Instead of finish, you should have finished. The student has finished. Then the next error is there, their, which is a possessive adjective but has a relationship with the possessive pronoun. The antecedent is singular. And then another rule of concord states that the pronoun must agree with its antecedent. So the word there is a plural pronoun that cannot be used with the singular antecedent. So where you have the singular antecedent, the student, then it should be a singular. For example, you can say the student has finished his assignment if that student is a boy, or the student has finished her assignment if that student is a girl. However, in modern use of language, many people argue that this pronoun there or they or them could now be used with a singular antecedent because of gender correctness. So instead of saying his or her, there is now increasingly being accepted in English speaking communities. But for the purpose of your exam, so that the examiners will not fault your use of language, having broken the rule of concord. So you should use the appropriate pronoun that agrees with its antecedent. So you can see from this example, just one sentence can cost you 1.5 marks, given that each mistake there costs you half a mark. So you lose 1.5 marks, 1.5 marks in one single sentence. So when all other sentences in your essay are critically examined and they all contain different errors, you might score 0 under mechanical accuracy. Section 6. Let's now look at what examiners hate. WAEC examiners hate writing off topic. You are asked to do one thing and then you are doing a different thing altogether. So examiners hate writing off topic. They also hate very long empty introductions, use of slang expressions in formal essays. All these are things that would annoy the WAEC examiners. Some students will write an entire essay having no paragraphs, just one paragraph. That is really very annoying. Another thing that is offensive is wrong letter formats. If you are asked to write a friendly letter and then you write it with the features of the formal, you lose marks. Use of text message language like the letter U for YOU, BCOS for because, PLS for please, ASAP for as soon as possible, ASAP. A lot of these things you will find in WhatsApp messages, messages on social media and so on. So do not bring this into your WAEC English essay. Again, make sure that your essays are not too short. These mistakes reduce your score immediately. Having discussed what examiners hate, let's now look at section 7, what examiners love. Examiners love to see a clear and confident introduction, well-developed paragraphs, good transitions, mature vocabulary, neat handwriting, correct use of grammar and punctuation, and a conclusion that ties everything together. Examiners love to see this. When your writing looks polished, the examiners reward you for that. Section 8. Sample essay and how WAEC would mark it. Let's use a real WAEC question. For example, write an article for a national newspaper discussing the causes and effects of examination malpractice. An article should begin with the headline or the heading. The heading for this type of article could be the causes and effects of examination malpractice. After your heading, what follows should be the introduction, which is the first paragraph. And you need a strong introduction. For example, examination malpractice has become one of the most troubling challenges in our schools today. This article discusses the major causes of the problem and highlights its damaging effects on students. This is a good introductory paragraph. An examiner loves it because it is clear, direct, and it addresses both causes and effects, just as the question demands. After the introductory paragraph comes the body of the article, which should be made up of paragraphs, depending on how many points you are going to discuss. Now let's begin with the first paragraph in the body of the article, which of course is the second paragraph in the entire article. A well-developed body paragraph could be as follows. One major cause of examination malpractice is inadequate preparation. Many students rely on last-minute studying and, out of fear of failure, turn to cheating in order to secure good grades. Now, you have mentioned one of the causes, and this paragraph is well developed because it first mentions what we call the topic sentence. One major cause of examination malpractice is inadequate preparation. And then the sentence that follows explains what this cause is all about. Many students rely on last-minute studying and, out of fear of failure, turn to cheating in order to secure good grades. That's one of the causes. Now, make sure you discuss one main point in one paragraph, then you move on to the next paragraph. Another paragraph on effects could be: a serious effect of this practice is the production of incompetent graduates. When students pass examinations through cheating, they progress without acquiring the skills needed to function in society. You have now mentioned the effect. Don't forget that you may decide to mention like 2 or 3 causes and then mention 2 or 3 effects. Or you may mention 2 causes and 2 effects, as the case may be. Then a simple conclusion could be as follows. If students, teachers, parents, and educational authorities work together to promote discipline, examination malpractice will reduce and our educational system will regain its value. That is a good way to conclude this type of essay. So now here is how WAEC might score this essay. Under content, the student may score 8/10. Under organization, probably 9/10. Under expression, probably 15/20, or even 16 or 17/20. Under mechanical accuracy, if the student use correct, grammar and the consistent, correct tenses, and has used the correct punctuation marks, then the student could score even up to 9 under mechanical accuracy, because total absence of mistakes in your essay means that you might even have all the scores under MA. To score high in WAEC essay writing, you need to understand the question clearly, organize your ideas properly, use simple but strong English, avoid grammar and spelling mistakes, and most importantly, practice consistently. If you master these secrets, writing an A1 essay becomes very easy. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and subscribe to English Classes Online for more WAEC English lessons.